Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I decided I would show you guys my bullet journal. I know bullet journal videos have been fairly popular recently, and I have done a little bit of bullet journaling in the past, but didn't keep to it as well as I would have liked. And since I saw so many of my other favorite YouTube channels creating some bullet journal videos, I figured I would join the party and show you guys what I have. First and foremost, I have the Lectrum. I know I'm probably saying that wrong. This journal that has the dotted paper in it, normal dot paper with numbered pages, and decided I would stick with this color. It does go with my branding just a little bit. This is one of my vinyl stickers that I have available. Thing that I have never done in the past when I've tried to bullet journal was use dotted paper. For 2018, I decided that I was going to go all in, get one of these lovely bad boys, and try dotted paper for the first time. I am no expert in bullet journaling or really planning. I like to stay organized, mostly because it's very difficult for me to stay organized with a creative mind full of crazy ideas seemingly all the time. It's a little hard to pin things down sometimes. I did get a lot of inspiration from various artists here on YouTube and in the journaling community. One in particular was Little Coffee Fox, which is a personal favorite of mine. I will link her YouTube channel and her blog down in the description, and I really based a lot of my lists off of that. So let's jump right in. So here in the front, I have another little handmade sticker of mine, my key, which I like to keep it pretty simple. And if you go on the bullet journal website, these are not the exact symbols that they use, but I just use symbols that work for me. And then for my table of contents, I don't have quite everything written out, but I have a good start. And I don't really love how there's multiple languages here. It got a little distracting. It seemed like there were just a lot of words. I actually have a white gel pen. It's just a white jelly roll that I sort of use as a bit of a whiteout, and it doesn't quite take away the words completely. You can still see it just a little bit, but it helps the overall feel. So you'll see that here and there. I also correct mistakes with permanent pen that I've used. So this was my Hello 2018. Definitely wanted to get this bullet journal because I have seen others use watercolor in their bullet journals, and I didn't love how this turned out. It did get a little wrinkly, which is to be expected. This is not watercolor paper, but I wanted something really pretty at the very beginning. So I have a bit of watercolor and some pens that are sort of a Tombow knockoff that are water-based that I pretty much use throughout. I am by no means a calligrapher, but I'm pretty proud of this. So here is my year spread, and I wanted to keep this very simple. As you can see, I went maybe a little overboard with adding the plants and succulents, but I did want something just at a glance, just 2 pages that I could see my entire calendar. I do write in some major things or highlight some major dates like birthdays, and here is basically my convention calendar or very, very specific dates that I need to remember. So this is something that I got from Little Coffee Fox, and it is my master plan, and this is basically where I am starting to keep track of my major goals that I want to hit within each month. So I obviously don't have a lot going on here at the end of the year, and I have only a few things here at the beginning. And the idea here is, at least in my mind, have something quite large that I want to accomplish Not necessarily all the steps, but just the very, very broadest sense of various goals that I want to get done. And then I break that down as I move forward in my bullet journal. So here is where I decided to take quite a few pages to really focus on personal goals. This is something that I've done in lieu of New Year's resolutions for the past 3 years, and I pick about 4 or 5 goals that are not super specific, but the idea here is I have the goal here in these little banners, and then as I think of very specific steps to get me to those goals, I make a list. And so I obviously have lots of room here. I wanted to create lots of space to really focus on these and come up with really tangible goals to be able to reach them. This first goal of mine is to create self-care habits to practice regularly, so you can see that's a pretty broad concept. My second goal of this year is to work toward creating a rejuvenating home environment. Third is minimize the stuff we own that does not bring us joy, us being myself and my husband. Make healthy food choices at home as convenient as possible. This one's really important to me. And then practice gratitude regularly. So I felt like really giving a lot of space to these 5 goals was really, really important to me to really show myself that I am taking them seriously and I'm allowing space for them to possibly evolve or to come up with new creative ideas of hitting these goals, and have them right here at the beginning so that I can reflect on them regularly. The next page here is a little bit of a brain dump for my business. Not only Jennifer Charlee Art, this YouTube channel and my social media, but also Fairytale Fox Designs, which is the brand of my store. This is a place that is still evolving. I did a similar thing with the 5 goals that were personal. I created 4 business goals here. And I have a little bit of a brain dump here with erasable pens that I can change here and there of just sort of keywords that come up that I want my business to embody, and also some space to create steps and again concrete ways that I can reach these goals. And then eventually I do want to come up with a really solid mission statement for my business that I have been brainstorming a little while on, so a lot of this is still in progress. Next up, we have a social media tracker as well as an expense spending tracker for my business. So this is pretty straightforward. Every time I spend money, it doesn't always come from my own business bank account. This is a way for me to really track where money is coming from, what is owed where, and basically large expenses. I will likely run out of room pretty quickly, but I'll probably either add some more pages right here, or I will just navigate over to a different part of the journal later on. This is a little social media tracker that is important for anyone who owns their own business and is keeping track of these kinds of things. I made it a little smaller than I probably needed to, so I do have a lot of extra space down here, but I am open to maybe adding some more illustrations here to decorate this, or maybe tracking some other form of social media or tracking something else, so I have a little bit of room to expand. Here is another idea that I came up with where I have enrichment, and this is basically lists of things that I want to improve either in my illustration or business and career or personally. And it's basically a place for me to dump down ideas of things that I want to spend extra time on, either learning about or developing more that I feel like I need development in. So for instance, business, I want to really practice backgrounds and color theory. And then right now I have, for my personal, I want to do a little bit more meditation. So there's a lot of space here for added things, but I definitely love learning and education is really important to me. And so I wanted a space that I could just dump ideas down. And then when I do have some free time, I can look back here at these 2 spaces, and depending on if it's a work free time or a personal free time, I can pick from one of these lists and get a dent in learning some new things. So here I'm getting into more of what I want to accomplish on a larger scale in my week and my day. So I have a daily schedule here and a weekly schedule here, and just some general things that kind of themes for each day that I want to get done. So here is another thing that I created that you are free to use yourself, and that is a self-care menu. So I don't have anything in here quite yet, and I have some ideas, I just haven't written them down, but one of my personal goals that you saw at the beginning was to have a really hammered down self-care routine, not only scheduling the time, but also having ideas of what I can do that will actually rejuvenate me, regain mental and physical energy so that I am making the best use out of that time. I don't know if you guys are the same way, but when I need self-care most, I don't know what will make me feel better. The more stressed out I am, the more overwhelmed I am, I just don't necessarily know what I need. A lot of that's on a biological level because our brains, when we are anxious, actually block certain parts of our brain, so we literally cannot access certain information. What I thought would be helpful in the future when I am under a time crunch, I'm really stressed out, I have a deadline, I'm doing some con preparation that is making me stressed out, but I know I need self-care time. Not only will I have time scheduled in my week, but when I don't know what I need, I can come here and I will have a list of activities and specifically the time commitment, how long those specific things will take. So if I only have an hour, I only have 15 minutes, I can look at what the time commitment is for some of these and I can quickly pick something out. This would be really helpful for me to be able to go, oh yeah, that actually would make me feel a lot better. I decided on the opposite page that this would be a really great place to record quotes and mantras that will really help me feel better or will help me look at life maybe in a little bit more of a positive light. I'm hoping this is enough space, but again, I can always move on to another page if I fill this one up. That's the best thing about bullet journaling, is you just move on to the next section. So here I have a pretty long spread here of 2 pages for YouTube and live streaming ideas. So I do run a YouTube channel. Hello, welcome. And I am trying to get back into live streaming, and so this is the place for me to sort of brain dump ideas that are actually a little bit closer to becoming a reality. I know I have a ton of ideas all the time for videos, and I have other journals that I'll write down ideas in, but when I am ready to pick my next video topic, this is where it is already. Similarly, I have illustration ideas as well as product development. So this is anywhere from an idea for a watercolor series that I want to work on, a book idea, or some sort of concept for a product like charms or stickers that I want to develop for artist alleys or for my store. So in between my lists and starting my weeklies, I end up having an extra page that's empty right before I start the month because I like having my month on this page, and so I'm gonna end up having roughly an empty page at the end of every month to carry over various lists back here or have other list ideas that I will have throughout the year. This one has personal information, so I'm not showing you, and that's why I have this piece of paper taped in, but I wanted to explain what that was. Here is the beginning of January, and the way I begin my months is I have my sort of calendar at a glance, again similar to my ideal daily schedule. I have work over here, personal over here, and I have various symbols that show what videos are going up for YouTube or various conventions I'm going to or live streams and the times that I have allotted for those. And then I have various things like doctor's appointments and things like that, birthdays, stuff like that that goes on my personal side. This is sort of my brain dump for this month, similar to my master plan, what my goals are. This is more bite-sized goals and concepts that I want to focus on for this month, but still not the very specific goals and to-dos that I can sort of knock off very easily. And then as we move into my weeklies, these are going to be the actual smaller broken down bits and pieces to get to those goals. I hope that makes sense. I'm probably not using terminology that is available for what I'm talking about, but that's how I explain things. This was my first week of January. I do these little banners and I wanted to keep it fairly simple and fairly open. So I have the dates, my days of the week, and my symbols for the various things that I am keeping track of or doing. And then down in this space, I wanted to utilize this for even more important things from week to week. So here, as a part of my gratefulness goal, I wanted to have a little space for, as I think of things every week, as I open to my weekly spread, I'm always going to see this, today I'm grateful or today I'm thankful for. And so I am trying to encourage myself to write down things that I am grateful for more often, and if by having this on every single week, hopefully I will accumulate even more things that I'm grateful for and I can reflect on those, because I know for me personally, that is something that helps my anxiety and my depression, probably more so than a lot of things. And so I wanted to make sure that I had a dedicated space for that. On this side, I decided to create a little space for notes. So here I was writing down notes for my YouTube giveaway that is coming up here pretty soon. I'm gonna have a video going live on Monday explaining a little bit more of that because we reached 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. And so I just need a little space to make a few notes, so that's what I put there. And then here I have a little kind of weekly tracker that I don't have labeled, but for this, what I'm actually tracking is how many times I actually am leaving the house, like actually putting on normal clothes, getting out of the house, probably interacting with other human beings outside of my studio and outside of my home. That might sound pretty silly, but as a YouTuber, as a freelancer, and as a creative that works from home, that's actually really important. And this isn't something that I'm trying to fill up every single day. This is something that I am mostly keeping track of each square that I'm coloring in, looking back at each week and seeing how often I did get outside, and I'm sort of doing a bit of tracking with that along with my mood to see how that's actually improving, because I do notice the more I can get out of the house, maybe not every single day, but more so than a couple times a week, I actually do have an improved mood. That's something that I am tracking. And so I just kind of continue on. I just kind of keep with that. The rest of this is pretty straightforward. This is where we are this week, and I like to keep it pretty simple. I know it's not the prettiest thing with the way I color it and the way I use it, but I really wanted this to be something that I could really utilize more so than it be decorative. And something that I did realize I needed to do was create a little line here for self-care, because Wednesdays are my self-care days, at least dedicated self-care days. And then I also added a line up here for Monday, since I will be at a convention that weekend previous, and so I want to make sure to give myself enough self-care time. And so actually writing it in my planner will hopefully help me keep track of that and actually follow through with the self-care. I hope that you enjoyed me sort of rambling and just flipping through my bullet journal. I know it's not necessarily the prettiest, but I felt like there are some things that I do that I haven't seen other bullet journalers talk about in terms of self-care, and I did do little fun succulents throughout, so I hope you enjoyed those. Let me know down below if you're interested in seeing more bullet journaling or planning videos from me, especially within the self-care realm, because that is something that I am truly passionate about. And if you are interested, give me some ideas of what you'd love to see, because all I could really think of was doing a bit of a flip through. I guess I could do a plan with me, but I tend to plan so far ahead that I'd have to really plan out a video for that, but I could try to prioritize that if that's something you guys would love to see. And if you're new and you are coming from more of a planner community and found my video, hello, welcome. I'm a freelance illustrator and artist, and be sure to click around my channel and see if there's some other stuff you're interested in. I do a lot of plant-based and succulent-based illustrations. I am mostly a traditional artist with watercolor and a little bit of marker, typically. So if you're interested in that, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you want to see some of my other stuff. Alright guys, as always, I hope you have a creatively fulfilled day, and I will see you next time. Bye!